Alright, so the title of this video gave it away. I am selling my smart house, if you want to call it that. Just an ordinary house, but it's got some smart upgrades. So stay tuned if you are either interested in selling or maybe buying, or maybe you're just interested if your house's value has gone up since you've added some smart electronics around the house. Stay tuned for some tips and tricks. What's up guys, it's Drew from Taylor Tech, and on this channel we do smart home tech reviews, installations, and DIY guides. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And hey, any of the products that I mentioned, whether that be the Fire tablet that I mentioned later on, or even some of the smart switches that I'm keeping in my house when I sell it, those will all be linked down in the video description below. Alright, so I wasn't planning on selling my house anytime soon, but a few personal things lined up and allowed us to have a possible nice opportunity in the near future of possibly building a new house or finding another beautiful house that we can call ours. So first came all of the construction and getting the house ready to go, fixing little things here and there, getting it ready to be on the market. But then, of course, the light bulb came off. What do we do with all of these smart things in the house? Do we keep them? Do we take them with us? How do we market that? How do we sell our house? Not too many agents in my area, at least, really knew what to do with smart home technology, and if we should leave them, what does it do to the value of your house. So hopefully we will be building a house in the future. I'm just waiting until we get to 1 million subscribers so that I can afford it. That might take a while. Hit subscribe. Only like 13% of you guys hit the subscribe button. But all joking aside, if you guys are interested in potentially seeing a smart house build, new construction in the future, whether that be a year from now, 2 years from now, who knows, hit that subscribe button down below. Of course, there will be all kinds of content up until that point of all kinds of cool stuff. But first of all, what kind of things am I going to take with me and what kind of things am I going to leave here? So I'm going to try to make it as simple and basic for a potential home buyer and potential agent that is showing the home as I possibly can. And what that contains is pretty much limiting all of my automations, you know, even as simple as motion sensor turning on a light in a room. I'm going to disable everything as far as that's concerned. I'm going to keep smart switches in the main rooms of the house, the 3 bedrooms, the kitchen, the bathroom, the garage, and the under cabinet lighting. That's pretty much all of these smart switches that I'm going to keep in the house. And the reason for that is I don't want to overcomplicate anything. I just want to try to make it as simple as I can while still making it seem cool or, you know, neat for someone that has no idea what this stuff consists of or what it contains and how it even works. I just want them to be able to pick up the Action Tiles tablet, which I'll get to that soon, and pick it up and look at it and be able to use it and say, oh, that's pretty cool. That's a nice feature in the house. I'm going to leave the thermostat. I'm going to leave the thermostat in the garage, which is also a Wi-Fi thermostat. And I'm also going to leave the front door lock, which you saw me install in this video, and a few other things around the house that are just going to be really simple. Like I said, I'm disabling all automations, and I'm just going to have, you know, basic on-off controls from that tablet. And of course, you can use it manually on the wall just like any other smart switch. That being said, I'm getting rid of all of my smart bulbs. I'm getting rid of all of my door contact sensors. I'm getting rid of most of my motion sensors. I'm going to keep the ones in the main rooms. I'm going to get rid of all of my Alexa enabled devices, all of my Google Homes, Home Hubs. Now, speaking of that Action Tiles panel, it is right here. I've got 4 of my cameras that's running off of Blue Iris, and I've got 3 motion sensors for the bedroom, 6 lights, the time, and the garage thermostat. And that's it. I've got a GIF of the local weather as well, just so they can see that that's something they can add. I'm also going to leave this tablet and the wall-mounted tablet that you can see me install in this video here. That's just to try to keep it as simple as I possibly can. That's the key factor here, because not only does a potential home buyer have to try to understand it, so does all of the agents that are going to be showing the home. I printed out on some cardstock some instructions to use the Fire tablet, and they can use it if they want to. It says pretty clearly here that they don't have to use it at all if they don't want to. I know many people personally that don't like to put smart things in their home. They just like to have old, non-smart, dumb devices. That's totally fine, and that is explained in the listing as well that all of this stuff can easily be taken out or replaced by an electrician with a non-smart device, and potentially even in negotiations, I can have it removed myself before closing. So if you're not familiar with these Fire tablets, they're super cheap. The Fire 7s are around 40 bucks or so. I'll have a link down below for those. There's going to be this one, and there's a Fire 8 upstairs mounted on the wall. So let's say you don't have any smart home technology in your house yet. Well, you can pick up a couple of these for pretty cheap, like I said, and a couple smart switches. You'll need a SmartThings hub if you want to use action tiles and to get everything working, and maybe a Nest thermostat. And you can really get some pretty nice smart things that a lot of people are looking for and maybe sell your house that much faster. Now, will that add value to your house? No, I highly doubt you will be able to add any value to your house by adding any type of smart thing to your home, even thermostats or something like that. It's just not going to add any value as far as what you can list it for. What that will do is it will add some selling factors. You know, you might have someone that is super interested in this stuff and maybe look at a very similar house at the same price that doesn't have it and pick this one over that. So there are definitely some benefits to it, but you have to be careful with adding way too much stuff or overcomplicating it, because it could scare a lot of people away. So like I mentioned before, you want to definitely make sure in the listing and in the listing description that they know exactly what is staying and what is going. So if you plan on taking your smart bulbs with you, for example, and you have that on your action tiles panel, or you just even have them in the house and let's say they're a different color, they might be expecting to be able to keep that sort of thing. So you just want to make it as clear as possible that you are going to be taking that with you, but better yet, just go ahead and replace them ahead of time like I've done, so there's no confusion there when closing comes and they're like, what the heck, I thought this was mine. So I usually have Wise cams around the inside of my house and the kids' rooms to keep an eye on them, as well as one in the kitchen and the main rooms of the home. And I took all of those down and hid them away, unplugged them, you know, got them out of sight. If someone sees that in your home, they'll just get discouraged and think someone's listening and probably get scared or something like that. I did keep the ones on the outside that are, you know, just monitoring the home as a feature. But the ones on the inside, I would definitely suggest removing them. I don't even know if it's legal to listen in or watch someone, you know, going through your home during a open house or, you know, a showing. Now, I mentioned that I'm going to be taking all of my Alexa devices and my Google Assistant devices with me, but I do make sure before showings that they're all set to mute so that someone, an agent or a home buyer, can't come in and say, hey, 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 Siri, just to listen. They could just say, what time is it? And they're listening, and okay, they know that someone could be listening on the other end. I know an agent that did that, not to my house, but I did see it done before. So just so you know, that could be another discouraging factor that someone doesn't like in the house. So good idea to go ahead and mute those guys as well. And back to the Fire tablet once again, you could be using an iPad or whatever as well. Once again, that could be logged into your Amazon account and they could go through that potentially. So go ahead and create a guest login on those devices so that if they somehow get out of the Action Tiles panel, they can't get into any of your personal information. And that goes along with factory resetting everything when you do sell your house. You are going to want to make sure that everything is reset to factory defaults, whether that be your thermostat, your smart switches, your SmartThings hub. Everything needs to be reset to factory defaults. When you give it to them, they are not going to have it set up with their account yet, so it's not going to be working, and you don't want it to be able to link back to you in any kind of way. You're going to want them to set it up on their own, re-add everything, just so there's no confusion and why it may not be working for them, so you don't get some kind of phone call. Not saying that you should help them out, because that's just a rabbit hole that you do not want to get into, but just try to simplify it for the future home buyers and yourself for security reasons by factory resetting everything you possibly can. Even your fridge, if you have one of those new Samsung smart fridges and you completely forget about it, it's potentially linked to your Samsung account, which is linked to your SmartThings account. They could potentially get in there and start messing with stuff at your new location. So make sure everything is factory reset. And what you're going to want to do is make a plan now ahead of time, all of your devices, what accounts they are, and what you need to factory reset, because I guarantee there's going to be things that you forgot about that you're going to want to need to go back and reset on one of the few last days before closing. And like I said, all automations and thermostat settings, lights turning on automatically, everything like that is going to be turned off completely. Yes, we are living in the Stone Age at the moment. It is very sad. The kids walk into the bathroom and they, "Mom, Dad, it's dark. I can't see." And we're like, "What are you talking about?" Oh, right. So it's kind of sad right now. It's weird, but it's necessary. So all of that being said, unfortunately, all of that money that you put into your smart home, if you do keep it at the existing home, you're not going to get your money back for. Hopefully it will allow you to sell your house faster. So if you're on the fence, if you want to take some of the stuff with you, and if you're familiar with how to change smart switches and back to dumb switches, or your thermostat, or things like that, you may want to consider going ahead and uninstalling those things. Or if you really want to sell your house fast, you don't really care about getting your money back for those sorts of things, then go ahead and leave them in. Maybe it will allow you to sell your house a little bit faster and be able to really have that wow factor when people walk in. So if you guys have any comments about this subject, leave them down below and let me know what you guys would do differently in my situation. It's not sold yet, so let me know if I should do some things differently. Let's have a conversation down there. Let's figure out what the best way to go about this is. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below and consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next video.